What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm your host, Mark Izzo, and to my left, your right, is your other host, Dillon O'Brien. Dillon, how are you doing? Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
It's
That's
like that.
how I'm feeling.
It's like that.
Like a freaky demon, like a freaky monster. I don't know why I
yes.
said that. But sorry, man. I'm just in a freaky monster mood with this Bray Wyatt documentary coming out, brother.
That's right. So basically this episode is going to be us talking about a bunch of I feel like smaller, maybe not smaller per se, but there's a bunch of I'm going to say smaller things that have happened that either happened between the last time we recorded and now, or maybe we didn't necessarily touch on it during the last episode of the podcast. But we'll start off with the Bray Wyatt documentary because that was announced for us today. It's coming out April 1st, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it going to be like an episodic thing?
I'm not sure.
I'm
assuming it's just going to be like a feature length movie.
Gotcha. Well, that's what the way they were talking about it though made it seem like the first part is going to be released on April 1st, but I could also be wrong. I could just be misunderstanding it.
I'm super excited for it. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to watch it, but because that's going to be a tearjerker
after his death to put it out, man. And I mean, like I said, we talked about this briefly, but I think that's the main reason that he's not in the Hall of Fame class this year I think they just want to give it a little more time. He's doing it this soon after his death almost feels like he's gonna be as big of a star whether he died yesterday or whether he died or whether it was 10 years ago, if that makes sense. It doesn't make the impact any different. Give his family a little more time to heal. I don't even know if not even to I don't know if I would be able to process putting him in the Hall of Fame. He hasn't even been dead for a year. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I think also where it's all right, you have Heyman in Philly. You're not going to do both of them. That's also it doesn't hurt to just wait for the following year to do it.
No, totally.
And especially because they'll probably do the Wyatt family also. It's going to be awesome. The doc I'm very excited for it, especially after watching the Cody Rhodes doc. It seems like they at least know what they're doing. It's going to be interesting to see if it's a TV show, if it's going to be a feature-length thing. I could also see them doing potentially a shorter documentary, 50 minutes or an hour also, not necessarily an hour and a half, hour 45, 2 hours, that sort of thing, because they have a, which I'll probably end up watching, but I think it was a Bruno Sammartino doc from a few years ago that was 45 minutes, that I would definitely like to check out on Peacock. But I mean, it's going to be crazy, and I'm assuming it kind of makes you think maybe they were working on this prior to him passing away, or if it was just as soon or shortly after he passed away, they sort of got the idea to do a documentary about him. Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited for it. I can't wait for it. I'm probably going to watch it the day it comes out, especially because it's going to be WrestleMania week, I believe. Also,
I'm assuming they're gonna do. I have a feeling they're gonna do a big tribute to him at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I would be really shocked, honestly, if they didn't.
Yeah, they probably will. So, something else that happened also is Mercedes Moné. It's officially all elite.
Mercedes Moné is all elite. A week
kind
after
of,
she went on a podcast and said she was gonna go back to WWE one day.
Yeah. Well, she probably will in a year or two, I think.
Bro, she said it. She was like, I'm going to be back one day, guys, so don't worry. She said it on a podcast and then debuted for AEW a week later. Which I was just Tony Khan was probably why the fuck would she say that? Tony Khan was probably so mad. But regardless, potentially their biggest signing other than CM Punk thus far. I mean, you got to think.
I mean, they just ripped off 3 massive signings with Ospreay, Okada, and Monet.
Yeah, but Mercedes is the biggest out of those 3. Just as far as like a name, I'm not saying like, I'm just saying as a name, like she's the most, like, you know what I mean? Just coming from WWE, like she's gonna be the biggest name. But regardless, I mean, yeah, massive signing for them. Hopefully it can give, as much as I do love the timeless Tony Storm gimmick, that's kind of been the women's division has been lacking from day one, kind of in AEW. And it's been a bit better. It's been a bit better as of late, but I think Mercedes will give it another. It's just gonna force them to give it more thought and attention. Because
and
you
time.
have one of your biggest stars. Yeah, because you now have one of the biggest stars that you have to put on TV every week. And she's, you know what I mean? And she's, so it really, like, it has a huge impact on the entire product, which is good. It's good for wrestling. It's good for women's wrestling. And we're going to get some great stuff from Mercedes there. And it's been way too long since we've had her on weekly television. So that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I'll say this, 2 things I took away from her debut. The first thing being how important a good theme song is. I don't think it gets talked about really enough because she came out to a new theme song, kind of like a bit of a new gimmick in terms of she's now referring to herself as the CEO. She got a new theme song, and basically she came out and it was her first time using that theme song, and the crowd was just chanting CEO the entire time. Even after the theme song, during her promo, everyone was just chanting CEO. So that just like goes to show you like how powerful a good theme song is because everyone was chanting it, even though that was the first time that they were hearing it. And
her other one on the indies, or like not on the indies, but like
in New Japan and Stardom,
was not very good.
No.
Money. 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 Money.
But this new one.
Maybe that one was good.
The new one's a bop,
no, I know
dude.
what you mean.
The new one's CEO. And then the second thing that I think this showed is how much of a star that she is.
Oh yeah.
Again, just her coming out and everyone just like was so fired up. Obviously it was in her hometown, but it doesn't matter where she was. She was getting that reaction, and obviously everyone just comes out chanting her nickname, even though it's just like a new gimmick. Like, she's just a star, dude. She is a massive, massive star, and that's one thing that I think that AEW sort of has an advantage on over WWE is that they're throwing out the Benjis. They're going to pay you whatever they need to pay you to get you on board. Because I think, I could be wrong, I believe they said that Okada's deal was equivalent of like a couple million per year.
It's all like and everything's based off like rumors and reports, but like the reports, the rumors are reportedly like the amount of money that he dished out for Mercedes, Okada, and Ospreay alone was like a huge chunk of change between the three, it's just like more than WWE would be willing to pay any of the three by a lot. So who knows? Maybe that'll catch up to them. Like maybe they'll kind of have this. It's kind of interesting because I mean I saw it on Twitter recently. And I'm not saying they have this problem quite yet, but they have had it already, kind of. In just the fact that they've just have a very crowded roster and not enough stuff to do with the amount of talented people on their roster. So, you know what I mean? Adding more talented people to the roster doesn't help that problem. And it's like,
especially if you're paying them a lot, like you're going to have to cut some people in order to financially be stable enough to pay them that. And the other thing is you can go.
And I will say too, like, listen, Okada has looked like an absolute star. Like, he is. First of all, he's such a natural heel. Like, he is like, dude, like, the guy hasn't. He's just such a natural heel. Like, he knows the mannerisms, literally the looks, the look to give. Like, he just knows what to do, the timing. AEW has, in my opinion, done a really poor job with a lot of their big signings. I'm not saying in general, and it's not it's not company tribalism when I say it at all. Like, they've just done a poor job, and I think a lot of people can agree at what they've done with some of their big signings. And I know it hasn't been long, but this Okada signing, man, seems like Tony may have learned his lesson from like how he's handled a lot of these other big signings, because he has booked Okada like an absolute star, and it's been working great so far.
And they also hired a writer, I believe. I don't know her name, but she was either Emmy nominated or Emmy winning writer also. Over I think it was like a couple of months ago as well. So it's kind of like, I think we may start to like slowly see like a change in like their on-screen product, which I think has been like one of their biggest flaws is just like the storylines.
Yeah, it's just been the storylines.
But I mean, obviously you have Okada, you're teaming him with the Young Bucks. It's going to be interesting to see how that sort of works, because the Young Bucks just have such an outrageous gimmick, even though I love it, but it's just going to be interesting to see how
with the Rainmaker, with the money falling though, like it works, man.
That's the other thing, is like it's going to be interesting to see like how Okada plays into that, and like how he fits into kind of what they're doing. So, and especially throw in,
it's been awesome so far.
Yeah, and you throw in Kenny Omega. Come on now, we're gonna get some more Omega and Okada matches. Meltzer's gonna explode, dude.
Oh my god, dude. He's going to be busting all over the place. A bajillion stars for this one, Brian. This one, these big boys were bashing each other, and they were doing flips and slaps and hits and hard hits.
You should have seen the Canadian Destroyer. My God.
They must have smacked each other around in a flippy formation about 1 billion times, Brian. And let me tell you, I'd give that match 17 billion stars. That's my impression of Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched a single thing by him, so I can't tell you if it's a good impression or not, because don't waste your time watching that shit, because it's terrible. So let's move on to something that happened.
Flippity flopping and they're flipping around.
Okay,
5 stars.
I have a match star rating from 1 to 5. I'm giving this match 7.5 stars, because that makes a lot of sense. And I'm not gonna give Kurt Angle any 5-star matches. And Shawn Michaels, you get 1, because it makes sense. What a dork. Anyway, something else happened a couple of weeks ago. And that being, we got our first ad deal on the sacred ring for WWE. A big-ass prime battle. It is something that they talked about a while ago. I think sort of once they got sold to Endeavor, that they were looking to start to do. We're gonna get a Prime bottle dead center of the ring for the premium live events moving forward. Dylan, what are your thoughts on this? I've seen mostly everybody kind of just hate on it. Besides, I think CVV was kind of like not totally against it. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I'm more just like, I mean, it's ugly and it's going to be distracting at first, but like, we're just going to have to get used to it, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else to like, I guess I'm just like, it makes sense. Like, in my head, I'm just like, at least it's Prime, and at least Logan can like do something with it, and at least Logan can like play into it, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it sucks that it's a bottle. Like, if it just said Prime, it would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, just the picture of the giant bottle really throws it off.
What are your thoughts on like them doing advertising on the mat itself?
I mean, it's stupid. Like, I don't know, it's stupid. Nobody can make, they can't make enough money nowadays, so they're gonna do whatever they can. We've already got the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match once a month or whatever.
God.
And yeah, I don't know. It's stupid, but it's just like, I was just like kind of expecting it at some point. It kind of caught me off guard at first, but I was just like, it caught me off guard at first because of the way it happened to with Logan revealing it. Like, I didn't know if it was like part of, like, I didn't know if it was a gimmick or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, it makes sense. I mean, UFC's been doing it for so long. So it kind of is pretty obvious when you think about it that way. But yeah, I mean, it's ugly. I don't like it, but I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, we just got to get used to it, man, because it's not going anywhere. It's probably about to be part of wrestling, and they're probably only going to get more.
Yeah. So
haven't they been doing it in Japan for a while too?
Yeah, and AEW.
Yeah. They have them on the mat in AEW?
Yeah. They used to. They had them on their mat for pay-per-views, at least.
Gotcha.
I feel like they had a lot, actually, on the mat. But, so, do I wish it wasn't there? Yeah. But I'm not, like, it's fine. Like, I guess I'm just, like,
I got over it pretty quickly.
I like, was never mad that they did it. I was just kind of like, oh, all right, we're doing this now. More slightly annoyed. But, I mean, like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if they do more. Like, obviously you have Logan with the Prime bottle for the premium live events at dead center of the ring. But I know AEW used to do stuff like in the corners also.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they add more advertising on top of that.
I'm sure they will eventually.
Or if it's going to be like just a center
distracting
ring.
once they do.
Yeah.
I just think it'll look better once they do. Like, they should just like put something like once it's just a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and
instead of just one giant. It's
so
just
like,
the way the Prime thing is. It's just because it's a giant fucking bottle. And it's really big.
it's large. It's large for sure.
And I just don't like how it's a bottle. Like, you guys couldn't have had you guys don't have a better logo than a picture of a bottle of your product? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever had Prime?
no.
Neither have I. I was just curious if it was any good.
No, I'm
or
not. Now that I'm saying it like that, I didn't mean to say it like, I'm not like against trying it. I'm just
I probably won't.
I don't-
try it.
like, if someone gave it to me, I would try it. You know, I like probably won't
I just
buy
think
it.
there's 100 things I would grab before I'm gonna grab a bottle of Prime.
No, yeah, that's really all it is. But I've grown to respect Logan Paul as a professional wrestler, so
Yeah, and I mean,
I really can't,
again, it's
really
like
can't hate on him too hard.
it's. Do I wish it was a different ad besides Prime? Yeah, probably. But it's also like it makes the most sense. Like, they probably Prime and WWE probably have the same key demo audience as well. So it makes a lot of sense. It's probably going to bring a lot
and
of
like I
eyes
said,
to wrestling. A lot of young
like
fans.
I said, like, dude, at least they did it in a way like Logan can play off it a lot. He already has. Like they already did a segment on it, so it's like
when we've already seen Randy throw KSI on it as well, and then dump. So like people are obviously going to play with it. So I mean, it's whatever. I don't think anyone should get super riled up over this. Like, but it's just kind of like a changing of the times. Like we're just going to start to get some advertising on the ring mat. It's just
it's like, dude, you should have seen it coming. What do you think? You think these big companies aren't gonna like get the most money? Like, what do you think is happening, dude?
I would be interested to like.
They just had Ticketmaster just told us that the fee for the ticket was $150 to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was the fee. Like you think?
And we're about to spend.
We don't need to talk about it, but more.
We're spending not that much more than that on 3 tickets, on our little three-day combo. So that kind of puts that into perspective as well. But yeah, essentially, these bitches are gonna maximize profit, whether you like it or not. So I'd like to see that deal, like how much Prime is paying for that to get that on there, because it's got to be a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Deal with it. Does it suck? Yeah. Is it annoying? Yeah. But it's whatever. It seems to be the new wrestling. We got a new Hall of Fame inductee. It seems that the class has been finalized. We got Thunderbolt Patterson, someone who I was not familiar with. Did a lot of his wrestling in like the 60s and 70s. He wrestled a lot in the NWA territories. He's held, I think, over 10 titles throughout like NWA Georgia and NWA Florida. So the final class is U.S. Express, Muhammad Ali. You got Paul Heyman, Thunderbolt Patterson, and Bull Nakano. So pretty solid class overall, I feel like. So that seems to be finalized, and we'll touch on one more thing, and then we'll sort of get into the matches that they added for WrestleMania. But this is maybe the biggest, craziest, most insane thing that we've talked about, and that's Shayna Baszler is wrestling for Bloodsport, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, WrestleMania weekend. How about that?
Yes.
Tip of the cap to Triple H.
A GCW event. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. If you're not familiar, I actually, I was like vaguely familiar, and then I had to like go kind of confirm what I thought it was, but I was correct. It's an MMA professional wrestling crossover event. It is a professional wrestling ring, no ropes. And
you know what it is?
Only win.
For those of you who only watch WWE, you may remember a while ago that WWE did this little thing called Raw Underground.
Yeah, literally.
It is that. It is that.
It's a rope. It's a ring with no ropes, and you can only win by knockout, submission, or referee stoppage. Yeah, and Shayna Baszler will be competing, which is, I mean, this is a really huge deal, man. Like,
yeah,
Triple
I don't
H,
know if we can stress
we
enough of how big of a deal
like,
this is.
Jordan Grace kind of cracked open that forbidden door when she came into the Rumble, and then, I mean, Shane is cracking another one that's like, that we're not even taught. Like, this is crazy that we got WWE wrestlers going to the indies now. Like,
on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
WrestleMania weekend, dude. That's insane. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, honestly. And the other thing, too, is, like, I will say is that, like, I know Shayna was trained by Josh Barnett. So I know, like, she specifically is very close with Josh Barnett. So maybe, I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, it's just fucking crazy. Shout out to Triple H, man.
You're the man, Trips.
What a guy. Like, it's insane. It is insane.
I mean, and I saw like a report.
No announcement on who her opponent is yet. But, geez, dude, who do you think she's gonna go up against?
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I'm trying to think of GCW people because I don't know that many.
Statlander.
Statlander.
No. Yeah. Fucking. What's her face?
Bro, imagine Rhonda.
Dude, it's not. No way.
Yeah, but that would be insane. Because I think it's like kind of.
Oh, fucking! I said it wrong. Steph DeLander.
Oh,
That would be cool.
that would be cool.
What did I say?
Statlander.
Who? I was
Chris
thinking of Chris
Statlander.
Statlander.
Yeah.
I fucked my. No, I just confused the name. My bad.
That would be sick though.
Yeah, I could see that, man.
I mean,
I'm serious.
and like, it just like shows like how much Triple H values the industry like as a whole. And like he just knows that there's other wrestling companies outside of WWE. As silly as it may sound to say, like for so long there was a time in WWE where you just got the idea that they were just like, we're the only ones that exist. Like all these other small indie shows are like nothing compared to us. And now you see Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble. Then they sent Shayna Baszler, GCW, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Like it's in like. We just can't stress enough of like how big of a deal this is, and how many other doors that this could open for other wrestlers. So shout out to you, Triple H, tip of the cap, because this is truly an insane thing that you're letting Shayna Baszler do. Especially, I saw someone tweet that.
Not you.
I saw someone tweet that this was probably the first time that they let WWE let a wrestler wrestle outside of the company on WrestleMania weekend, just because there's so many shows that go on WrestleMania weekend.
Easily. I mean, and so recently, I mean, last year we had Nakamura went up against Great Muta for Pro Wrestling Noah. That obviously wasn't WrestleMania weekend. But that was, I mean, that was significant as well.
Yeah.
So, but this is even bigger than that, I would say, especially for a company like GCW.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like I'm not sure, but I also saw Tyler Breeze. I don't know if he's still signed to WWE. I think he may be. Like, he doesn't wrestle for them.
Yeah.
But he's in, like, the video games.
Something. Yeah.
So I think he is signed, but he just wrestled. I forget what company it was, but he wrestled not too long ago for a company not named WWE also. So it seems like they could be getting a little lenient.
Let me see if he is signed with WWE.
Dude, Charlie Dempsey just wrestled for All Japan Pro Wrestling not too long ago as well. So I mean, it's a great time for WWE, and especially with Triple H leading.
I mean,
creative.
yeah, he's still under contract with WWE.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, so he's another one. He just wrestled an indie show not too long ago. I don't think he's gonna hit a bunch of dates, but it's something that he can do. So I mean, shout out to you, Triple H. This is a huge deal that Shayna Baszler's wrestling in Bloodsport for GCW, and so we got a bunch of matches confirmed from the last time that we recorded this. One of them happened during, I guess, after we actually recorded our last episode. And it's something that we didn't see coming. Sami Zayn won the gauntlet to wrestle the Ring General Gunther at WrestleMania 40. I didn't see anybody super upset about it. I saw there was a report that Sammy was upset because people were upset online about it. I saw a couple of people try to like start a "We Want Chad" hashtag, which like
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
settle down.
Sorry.
This was the other thing too. This was what I was confused about with why they had Gable versus Sammy to finish the gauntlet off. Like, this was the thing that I was worried about, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I absolutely love Sami Zayn, but I was a little disappointed that Chad Gable didn't win.
Yeah, totally. I think that's essentially how most people felt. I think most people are huge fans of Sami Zayn, and are completely okay with him winning. It was just situationally, the story had been written for Chad Gable to get the match and then go up against Gunther at WrestleMania. It's just the story was there. That's really what it was. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely both a little bit bummed out, but listen, at this point, I'm just trying to get hyped up. Sammy versus Gunther is going to be that's a sleeper for match of the, you know what I mean, match of the weekend.
Yeah.
That can end up like, give them 25 minutes, like Sammy and Gunther.
We'll be pumped. We'll be pumped
insane
for it by the time Mania comes.
Oh, totally. And that's
I'll probably
the other
be
thing.
pumped
Like,
for it after I watch their contract signing tonight.
Yeah, like nothing's like a dude. And who knows? Maybe Gable comes out during this contract signing or something. Like, maybe something happens.
I saw someone tweet a screenshot when Sammy rolled him up and was like, "Are Chad Gable's shoulders down?" So I was like,
yeah, I saw that. That was.
Seemed like a bit of a stretch.
I don't think they'll play on that, but
I think they would have done it a little better. Because usually when that thing happens, one of the announcers is like, "Oh, his shoulder was up."
Agreed. Yeah. No.
But he may get himself involved in this match. Then it would be really interesting to see sort of how it plays out. Because I think you can then get away with Sammy not winning, but he doesn't get hurt because he didn't win, because you can have Gable pin Gunther. Because like the thing that confused me, and I saw other people say this online also, was like all of the Sami Zayn segments leading up to that, it felt like he was talking about one of the world titles. And I know that's something we talked about.
No, I agree.
For a couple of episodes also. So that's what it was a bit confusing. But I mean, if you are pissed off that Sammy won, don't be. I'm not I don't know why you just flipped the script like this. It's okay to be a little disappointed, but I think after the contract signing, I think we're both going to be hype, and definitely by the time WrestleMania comes, we are. I know for a fact I'm going to be behind Sami Zayn, and I know for a fact we're going to get the link rocking for Sami Zayn. Let's go. It's going to be a loud "let's go."
Yeah, dude, that shit's gonna be awesome in the link.
And so another match that we got finalized, and when
That's
I say
what Sammy looks like when he does that sometimes.
And when I say finalized, I mean we get the graphic for it. Because obviously there's matches that were obviously going to happen, but until we get the graphic, it's not final. So that being Jimmy versus Jay, got the graphic. It's final. I know they had a segment tonight. I wasn't able to watch it.
I did. It was good.
Hell yeah. Good first segment?
Yeah, it was like they went face to face. Jimmy basically, in good reason, kind of said, like, everything I did was for you. You turned your back on me. Like, I didn't turn my back on you. And he made some valid points. Like, he was like, when you left, he was like, when you wanted to leave the bloodline, like, I did that for you. Like, I followed you out of the bloodline. I didn't want to do that shit. Like,
yeah.
And he was like, just like, he made some good, valid points. And then Jay made some valid points of his own, saying, you know what I mean. You can't hold him back. You know what I mean. He's got to. But Jay, it started off with Jay. He was like, "I miss you, man." He was like, "We don't talk no more. I don't see you no more." He's like, "I miss you, dog." Like, yeah,
God
bro,
damn,
it was cool.
This feud's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great match. But yeah, dude, they're building it up great. Feels like Rikishi's gonna get involved somehow. I don't know. I just get the vibe that at the match, at Mania, he might show up somehow.
I think potentially at the end of the feud he could show up.
Yeah, maybe.
Or like maybe he's involved in the feud all along, or for its entirety. I could also see that as well.
I meant just like I think he might show up like at Mania, at the Mania match.
In the crowd.
Yeah, like maybe like come from the crowd. Nice. Like if like they're about to like do something, like they're gonna like Jimmy's gonna like fucking break Jay's neck or something.
Do you think one of them? I mean, I'm still under the assumption this match could get Bloodline rules.
Yeah, I think it could definitely get like a stipulation.
Do you
Feels
think
like it needs one?
You know what they could do is maybe this is more for the last match in the feud, but if they do like a no DQ style match, they could just have like a sort of like a callback to Rikishi jumping off, I believe, Hell in the Cell onto the truck.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool spot.
Oh yeah.
For one of them to do. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm very excited.
Rikishi jumped off the top of the steel cage into the ring.
I thought he jumped outside of the ring onto like the truck.
There was also that.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, bro, he literally did like a splash from the.
Oh yeah, no, I actually just saw that clip.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a
like
big man
crazy.
Falling down.
Yeah,
on
that's a big man doing that splash.
And so we also got two other matches confirmed. We got AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, LA Knight said some fire, but I forget what it was on SmackDown. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. I believe you. Yeah, this match should be really dope, and I'm starting to get a little bit excited for it. The build is starting to get a little bit more there for me. So hopefully by the time Mania rolls around, we got like 3 more SmackDowns, I think. Maybe I'll be like real hyped for this. Maybe I'll be real hyped for this guy. So pretty excited about that. But the other match that was confirmed is something I'm real excited for, and that's the triple threat.
Yeah, we got a triple threat match
Logan
for the
Paul
U.S. title
versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Triple threat match. You called it. Yeah, you said it was going to be that. Makes sense after what's been going on the last few weeks. Kind of felt like they were going to do just Logan versus Randy until KO kind of worked himself back into the story there.
Yeah. Once they had that tag match, I was just
exactly.
All right, we're going triple threat.
But there was actually, I don't know if you saw, did you see the video that like WWE posted of like Logan, like after the segment where Nick Aldis told him who his opponents were? Where he was like walking backstage and he was just like Randy Orton and Kevin, triple threat match. He was like, what? So they're both against me? What? He was just like, is this even legal? He was just like the way he was, bro. It was actually.
I'll say this too. I know I hate on Logan Paul a lot. Every once in a while, he'll say something funny.
Dude, it was funny. He was like, is this? He was just like, he was essentially acting very confused at the idea of a triple threat match. And like what it even was on and how it even is a thing that is allowed. And it was kind of funny.
I'll tell you what he does that's kind of funny is his like European uppercuts that he started to do.
Oh yeah,
he just goes, "Huh," and then he kind of just like holds it there.
Yeah, dude, he's kind of a natural, man.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's been on every week, man. Like he's been full time the last couple months, so he's been doing his thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you think he drops the title?
Probably.
Feels like the time.
But hey, who knows?
Who knows indeed. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We covered a bunch of stuff. In the coming weeks, we'll be doing our WrestleMania predictions. Do you know how many matches there are total? Like 9? The 4 world titles, the tag. That's 5. US, IC, LA versus AJ, so that's 8. Did I miss any?
The ladder match.
Jimmy versus Jay.
And that's 10.
That's 10. The only other match I could see them adding would be potentially Bobby versus Karrion Kross. But
I think it's more likely that they add
the women's tag titles.
That they do. I think they're gonna add those. There's no way Bianca's not on the card. So.
Oh yeah. Dang. She'll be on the card.
Probably the win. I think it might be her and Naomi for the women's tag titles.
You think Jade's on the card?
Dude, I don't think so at this point.
I could see them doing the six woman tag versus Damage Control.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, I could see that. But also I was gonna say, they might do a 6-man tag, like Bobby and the Profits versus, whatever. Pride versus
Final Testament.
Yeah, Final Testament.
My only thing with that is also that I feel like we've gotten every single variation of matches between them that we could possibly have gotten.
Yeah, it would just have to be like one final blowout, like 3-on-3, like tornado tag, like
yeah. But
who knows?
I think they've run with 11, maybe even 10, if we miscounted. But I definitely think Bianca's getting on the card. I think they're going to get the tag titles on the card in some way, shape, or form. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the podcast. I'm Mark. He is Dillon. And this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast. We'll catch y'all next week.